Well, one of the showiest flowers in the summer garden are dahlias, and right now is a perfect time to be planting your dahlia tubers. But there is more than one way to do it, and with us today is Dr. Gary Miner. He's co-president of the Tulsa Dahlia Society, and he's going to give us some of the tricks of the trade so that you can have beautiful dahlias in your garden. Gary, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you, Brenda, for having me. This is going to be fun, I think.
I think so too. Well, first off, we've got some dahlias and they're still in their bed, right?
Right. This is how they overwintered. The dahlias were cut apart, the tubers were cut apart, put in a bag with some wood shavings, just rolled up, put in a box, and kept in the garage or a cool place, 45 degrees, during the winter. These that you see down here were taken out in the last couple of days, and right now, the end of April, first part of May, is the ideal time in Oklahoma to plant dahlias.
Okay.
This one here happens to be Christmas Red, which is on the cover of our bulletin this year, which the Tulsa Dahlia Society has kept alive. It has a nice big sprout, and we'll plant that first.
Great. Well, there's more than one way to plant a dahlia, and let's look at the different ways down here.
Okay, you can make cuttings of dahlias and then root them and put them in a pot and submerge the pot in the ground about an inch below the surface of the ground and produce what's known as a pot root. This one here, you can see all the roots growing out of the pot. And then you can take this pot off the next year, plant them in the ground, and these pot roots are extremely vigorous. They'll take off very rapidly, probably bloom about a month earlier than the tubers. Okay. You can also make cuttings and plant the cuttings, or you can take a tuber and start it early and have it growing before you plant it out.
So you got a head start on the season.
Right.
Well, what time of year would you do this? The pot?
I would plant them about the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and when would you make the cuttings of the dahlias?
The cuttings are made in February and March and take about 3 weeks to root, and that's been repotted, and it's probably about 2 months old at this point, and they need to be put out by the middle of May here in Oklahoma.
Okay, well, let's look at how to go about putting these in the ground.
Okay, so we're going to plant Christmas Red first, and here in the fairly heavy clay soil that you find in Oklahoma, I do not like to plant them 6 inches deep as most of the books recommend, but probably 4 inches deep, and only cover them with about 2 inches of soil to begin with, and then later as the plant grows, one can mound up soil around them.
Okay.
So if you make a hole about 10 inches, 12 inches wide, and then put the tuber down with the eye about an inch or two from the stake, just like that. Okay. And then I like to use dicyston because it will keep insects away for 2 to 3 months. It's the simplest way, but one does have to be a little careful, so it's best to use some rubber or plastic gloves. Okay. And we'll take a teaspoon or tablespoon of this and sprinkle over the tuber, and this simplifies insect control tremendously. Okay. So then at that point, simply, I don't want to break this sprout off, so I'll be very careful to...
and you're putting about 2 inches of dirt over it right now?
Yeah, about 2 inches at this point.
Okay.
And then later on, after it comes up, you can start mounding it up.
Okay.
Now, the simplest way to keep them from falling over is to use a tomato cage. A lot of people tie the stalks to the stake, but the simplest way is to use a tomato cage. And I really should have put this down before I covered it with soil, because we don't want to spear the root, but I can't remember where it was, so it also keeps the dogs away.
Right, and so you've looped your tomato cage over your stake to keep it from blowing over.
And then we'll plant another one right here and another cage looped over, so 2 per stake.
This is a very good system. Now, next we want to do one of the pot tubers, right?
Okay. Now we need to get the tuber out of the pot. Sometimes they come out easily, other times they don't. This one happens to be Harvest, which was hybridized by Phil Traft in Seattle, Washington a few years ago. It's a beautiful lacinated dahlia. Has its origins from some of the lacinated stock coming out of South Africa. Looks like this is going to come out pretty easily. So there's our label there. Since the sprout's coming up like this, I'm going to put this down this way so the sprout is...
so you want the sprout to be in the direction that it's coming. Okay.
And again, we'll just cover it loosely with some soil, put some dicyston on. And
okay.
And actually, this is going to be a little more than 2 inches, but we don't want it to burn in the sun, so I think we'll just barely cover it. And
okay.
then we'll be out in a couple of days.
Great. Let's see.
Okay. Now you can watch these two during the summer, and you'll probably find this one will be up and blooming a month ahead of this one.
All right. Well, we need to get the rest of these planted, but if somebody wants to find out more about the Tulsa Dahlia Society, who should they call?
Okay, they could call my private office home phone, which is 918-481-6031, and leave a message, and we'll get them some information, get them a copy of our current annual, which has some color photos in it. In fact, this is Christmas Red, which will be the one that'll be blooming here, a nice 12-inch wide dahlia. It lists our members and lists places to buy dahlia tubers around the country, and
okay.
We'd be happy to have them.
Well, thank you for helping us plant, and we better get working here.
Okay.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.